Man. So welcome to this session of Bootstrap. We are going to discuss almost everything in Bootstrap. We're going to try to cover everything in less than 60 minutes. So let us begin by setting our timer. 1 hour and 2 minutes. So it will count down when it finishes, then we'll kick off. It will create a warning and then we'll finish. So without wasting much time, I'm going to create a folder on my desktop. If you don't understand anything, just feel free to ask. So I'm going to create a folder on my desktop and I'm going to call it maybe BT, okay, Bootstrap. So I'm going to put here, this guy is freezing, but I've not opened a lot of stars, okay. So I'm going to put here a file, right click and say new, I'm going to put maybe 1_intro.html. so that is my first file. So I'm going to open this project in Sublime Text, by simply coming to Sublime Text here, and I'll just simply drag and drop here this project by doing like this, Sublime Text. So it means that I have this HTML file here. Let me try to close some applications because they are slowing down my machine. Let me see which guy is making this noise. I cannot close everything today. You know, you can feel your machine if you be with it all the time. Just like people who drive cars. When the car is slow, they can feel it too. Okay, I can't stop even this guy because I'm not going to use him. Okay, this FTP, I can't stop it. Okay, so I think we are good to go Chrome. I don't know whether I should restart it. So I think our time. Let me restart it because this slowing stuff. Okay. Yeah. So they are good to go. You're good to go. Hope so. This thing is cheating our time. Okay, without wasting much time. So that's it. So I'm going to open here a file and just put some HTML back a skeleton, and then say maybe intro, and then come and put here introduction. Maybe H1 and say introduction. So if I come and save and I just drag and drop that file of Bootstrap that we created, where is it? It is somewhere. I open this one and then I drag and drop this file here. I'll be able to see this intro. Okay, so we're going to begin by downloading Bootstrap and importing it into our project. So you can, if you're working offline, you can download Bootstrap and you work with it while it is offline. Or if you're working online, when you upload your website on internet, you have to use the CDN API, the CDNs, because they are faster. Just Bootstrap. You know what is meant by CDN, right? So they'll give you the links, and then you just import those CDNs, and then instead of you using the Bootstrap itself, you'll be just using it while it is offline. So I'm going to download Bootstrap. This is the website of Bootstrap. I just simply come to home and then click on download, and then you'll be able to do what? To download the Bootstrap. You can download it with source code, with the examples. You can download only the source code only without examples. So it is downloading. Oh, I've downloaded the one with examples, no problem. So I'm going to open the source of this folder, and then I'll go to my project and paste their Bootstrap. Okay, so after pasting Bootstrap, I'm going to unzip it by simply right clicking it and say unzip, and then put the files here. So this is the Bootstrap. So I'm going to what I'm interested in right now is only the file of Bootstrap, only that single file of Bootstrap. The JavaScript will look at it later. So I'm going to simply get here this file of Bootstrap, and you see where it is. It is inside the Bootstrap what? React. They're just blowing their own trumpet. Maybe. Let us concentrate here, man. So you don't want to speak, eh? So I'll just open here this file of Bootstrap. You see, it is under distribution. So I'll copy the bootstrap.css. It's just 1 hour concentrate, and then you go and do whatever I want. So I'll come in BT, paste it there, and then I'll come and import it. So I'll just simply put here link, and then put bootstrap.css. Okay, so let me put here some lorem, and you see what will be the difference. And let me put these lorems in a paragraph. Okay, so I'll first get this bootstrap out, and then come and try refresh and see how our project looks like without bootstrap. So this is how our project looks like without bootstrap. But just when you import bootstrap in it, just see some magic. Let me try to make these 2 instances. I'm going to first remove bootstrap and refresh the project, and again I'm going to open a new page here without bootstrap, with bootstrap. So let me save and come and refresh here. You see, so with bootstrap you'll see that there are some things that have been set. The font has been set to the better font that is a bit clear, and there is margin here that is always there. So they'll reset your browser to see that you can use as maximum pixels of your browser as possible. So that is what is done by Bootstrap, just by default, before you do anything with Bootstrap. So as you know, Bootstrap is classes of CSS, and we use it to speed our process when you're programming and implementing the good practicing the good practices that are supported by engineers for over around 10 years while it is being supported. So if you use Bootstrap, it is being improved by real front-end engineers. So it means that everything that you use, the class that you use, is really having the good practices. So if you create your own classes, yes, it is good, but it is prone to the errors. So this is Bootstrap itself now. So we're going to begin by creating the Bootstrap using Bootstrap project, but we cannot follow it. The Bootstrap has the documentation here. You cannot follow the Bootstrap documentation. Why? Because it is not organized. So the best way to follow the Bootstrap documentation is to follow something like W3 Schools, because for them, they do what? They follow in form of a syllabus. So you're going to follow W3 Schools, and then if you want the details about a certain item, we'll be coming to the main documentation of Bootstrap. So let me open W3 Schools Bootstrap section, Bootstrap 4. So that is the W3 Schools Bootstrap section. So we have got started already. Now begin with the containers. I'll not explain everything, I'll just explain the most important parts. So begin with containers. What are you doing, man? Yeah. Okay, what you do is up to you, man. I don't ask for the class. So you begin with the containers. So I have 2 types of containers in Bootstrap. We have this default container and a fluid container. So this default these containers, they will see that they'll make sure that our content is in the right place, not going outside the browser or not going beyond the browser. So it will make sure that it is in the right content. Let me show you an example. For example, I'm going to create here, I'm going to implement this class of container, this main container here. I'm going to implement it in my body here. So to do that, I'll simply come here to body and give it a class and give it a container class. Okay, one more thing that I have to tell you: if you're using Sublime Text, you can import packages of Bootstrap so that it can help you to auto suggest. So just to import the packages, you press Ctrl Shift and P, and then say install, and then you see these install packages. Okay, if you're using other IDEs, they also support text editors, they also support packages, but me, I'm comfortable with this Sublime Text. So to install packages, just press Ctrl Shift and P, and then you can write install. So you first write install, and then to open this one, and then you write the package that you want, Bootstrap. So I already have some packages. Okay, so I'll no need to import others, okay, of Bootstrap. So I can import like 3 or 2. So here I can import this Bootstrap 4 again if I want. Okay, for example, if I click here, it will import it here, and then I'll be able to be to be getting the suggestion of Bootstrap classes. For example, if I want to implement the container, you see, if I write just CON, it will help me to suggest the container with the correct spelling. So let us implement this container on this top body, and you see what is going to happen. So you see, our text have been removed because I'm using a very big screen. So Bootstrap will intelligently know that I'm using a very big screen, and it put this text that can suit my eyes to read. If you go and see other websites like YouTube and Facebook, you'll find that their content, they always put it in a place that you'll be able to read everything. But if you want still to use another container, for example container fluid, still it will make sure that the content is not going outside the browser, but it is maximum, okay, it is bigger. So I have container fluid and container. So this container, let me show you how it is important. Let me go to the inspection and we see how it is going to look at in the different devices. Let me get here. Just called what? Meta. I forgot it. That one for zooming. I forgot it. Do you know it? I don't memorize it. Viewpoint. You know it? Scale viewpoint. Yeah, you see, like here, if I go to Samsung, this is Samsung Galaxy. Still, it is still looking like a website, like a whole. Yeah, so this will be very important when you start implementing your project in in real world. Otherwise, if you don't do this, then your project will look like a desktop on mobile phone, and it will be very bad. So you have to add this tag in your head, and I never mind about memorizing it. So just add that tag there, and then if you come and refresh, you see it will be responsive to the mobiles, I mean to the devices. So you see now our container is smaller. Why? I mean the margin between the content and the container is smaller. Why? Because intelligently know that this is a smaller device, so we don't need to do what to waste too much space. But when you change to a bigger device, you'll see it is increasing. For example, if I go to iPhone, still the content is small because it's a mobile. But if you go to something like iPad, you see the space has been increased a little bit. And if you go to something like let us say desktop, let's just simply click here, and then you come here and then click on responsive design. Here you see this size is increasing intelligently. When it goes, it sees the size, it is being increased according to the device, so that the content should be in the right place. But if you want to create your own class like this one from scratch, of course you can do it, but it will take you too much time, and that class, it will not be as perfect as the way it is implemented here in Bootstrap. So that is a class of content. It will make sure that your content is in a right visible place. So we have another class called container fluid. We have seen it for it. It will make sure that your content is in a visible place, but it is as large as possible. So those are two important classes of Bootstrap that we always use: container and container. We use them to wrap the content. So we have typography of Bootstrap. This typography of Bootstrap, it just helps the different texts of Bootstrap. We have classes such as H1, H2, H3. For example, if you have something like this one, let me say I have content like this. Let's say subject, I say introduction to Bootstrap. So by using Bootstrap typography, we can format this subject in different ways. One of the ways is through using the Bootstrap typography. For example, I can change this one in form of H. If I don't want to change this one, for example, if I just change this one to H, like H1s, the heads, what will happen? It will be having the type of H1 of Bootstrap. But if I don't want to do this, I hope you're following. If I don't want to do this, I can as well implement the class of H1 by putting H1. So this one can help you to resize text. When you're working with a project and you want to resize text, maybe you want to change the text sizes, you can use these H's. Okay, see, can I do like this? Okay, for example, I can say here, let me see if this is allowed, span. Okay, let me put this class here and then put this one here. You see, it did not break the line, but it implemented the same size as the H1. So this one will save your time when you're trying to design. For example, we want to say name and this, name and the value, and a attribute and the value, attribute and the value. So you can use these H's to play along the sizes. They range from H1 up to what? Up to H6. It is a class. We're using the H as a what? As a class. You see, I can even go up to H6, the smallest. So you can use this one to change the bolding style. You see, it is bolder and it is less bolded. Those are what? Those are H's, and we are using them in form of classes. You can come here, if, like I told you, you can follow this Bootstrap, W3 schools as syllabus. But when you want to go the details of a certain topic, you just go to the documentation, because these are the creators of what? Of Bootstrap itself. But though their documentation is not organized in form of a syllabus. So for the syllabus, you can follow W3 schools, but for the full documentation about any issue, you go to what? To the official Bootstrap website, and then you'll see the whole thing about what? About typography. We have other important classes called the displays. This one can display from 1 up to what? Up to 4. These are the different sizes. You just implement it like this. You can say, for example, here I can say welcome, and put like example like P, and I say welcome. So this welcome, I can resize it into display classes, and these display classes, they range from 1 up to 4. So if I come and refresh, they will be thin but huge, like we can see here. Welcome, thin but huge, and I can resize them from 1 up to 4. So if I come and refresh, see, 1 up to 4. So I can resize and resize. So that's a deep display classes. I can also use it to speed our time. Then you have the small, of course, that will reduce the line. So that's all about typography. We will continue from there. Those are the most important parts of typography. The rest are just HTML, and they show you how they appear with also the alignment. The other important classes here. So Bootstrap can also help you to bold. In case you want to bold something, you can as well bold it using this Bootstrap class. It is a new class, font weight bold, font weight bolder, and italic, and the rest. You can use them. You can use these ones to apply the font weight. Assume that I want someone to note this, to notice it. I can use this span, okay, and then I give it a class of font weight bolder. So if I come here and paste, you see, it's going to be bolder. See, font weight bolder. So this is, it will remain the font same style, font same size, but a little bit bolder. Wait, the class font weight bolder. We have another one, font weight bold. This is font weight bold. We have font weight bolder, font weight bolder. You see the advantage of using the classes. So if you put, this is font weight bolder, if you put something like font weight light, then it will be more light than even the normal text. For example, I'll come here and give it a class of font weight light. Okay, so you have light and lighter. So you can range into 6 different sizes, most especially in displaying data. So you can bold, you can do the biggest bold, you can do some italics, you can do the light, you can do lighter, like more lighter. So these will help you to range your text and display them in different sizes. Okay, so we proceed. We have lead. This will help you to make a text stand out. It will make you to help the text stand out. For example, if I give this class a class of lead, see, this text will stand out. Just if you want maybe to point at something when someone is reading, can you see it is standing out? It is a little bit different from others. That is a lead class. Okay, so we can align text. Okay, we can align text left and right. That is self-explanatory. We even have the class of monocase. Bootstrap introduced it. It is just a new class. In case you want your text to be in monocase format, I can, for example, span this and give it a class of monocase. It's a new class of Bootstrap. They are not there like 1 year ago. They are not there. So you see, the text is in monocase, like a typewriter. This one. This one, I mean, it's like in form of a typewriter. So those are typography of Bootstrap. You can capitalize text. You can capitalize. You can change to uppercase by just simply implementing a class without writing a code. Just put class text upper, and then all of them will be to uppercase. Okay, so there's difference between uppercase. All of them will be in capital letter. Okay, we have another one called capitalize. Capitalize is not uppercase. Capitalize, it will make every first letter of a word to begin with a capital letter. We have another one called lowercase. This one, of course, is self-explanatory. It's going to change them to lowercase.
What about the Navbars and the login forms, for example? To design a Navbar and design a login form using Bootstrap. How can we go about that?
So should we jump to there, because I've not reached there? I'm going to come to colors, tables. Yeah, we have not reached there. That's where I'm heading. I'm just showing you the important things that you should remember. First of all, you don't need to memorize all the classes, but I need you to know the capabilities of Bootstrap, so that when you want to, for example, to strike through a text, or when you want to make a text bolder, you just know this is possible with Bootstrap, and then search the class. That's what I want you to know, even if without memorizing. Yeah. So there is where we are heading. So we come to what? To Bootstrap Colors. This is also important. They are very, very important. These Bootstrap Colors, they help us to implement colors of Bootstrap. You can overwrite them, of course. That's what you should know. You can overwrite them here. Just come here to Bootstrap. You see, they are defined here. Warning, info. So in case you want to create your own project that is having your specific company colors, you can overwrite them. So it's not necessary that all the Bootstrap websites will look the same. So you can overwrite them, and once you overwrite them, for example, a primary color. Primary color is this one. So if you overwrite it, it means that the rest of the CSS will obey what you've written. Very, very important here to overwrite these colors in case you have a company project that they are strict to their colors. So you can overwrite them, and then the remaining part they'll implement those colors. Very important point. We come to colors. So for colors of Bootstrap, I think I should get another file. It's not important. Colors, okay. So I'm going to put here this one. Colors, okay. Very important thing here. So if I come and open this file, I have colors. So I've just told you, Bootstrap has got its colors, and they are here. You can come and override them if you want. Here. So these colors, even the font also. These colors, they help you to program something faster. First of all, they have contextual colors that they are used in normal way of how the mind works. First of all, we have like danger. Danger, of course, that means the color have to be red. When you see danger color, it's we'll know that it's red. We have a warning, of course, it is yellow. That's a standard thing. Then you have primary color, it is blue, kind of blue. Then you have black, which is dark, dark color, this kind of gray. And then you have the body text color, and you have another color here, it's called gray, and I mean light gray. They have added more, in fact, they have light gray. So first of all, you have to know the colors that are existing in Bootstrap, so that you should know the capability that you can do, so that when you're creating a project, you can simply implement those colors in simplicity. So if I want my text to be black, if I want my text to be red, for example, I can just put here, for example, my lorem, and let me see, P, and give it lorem, and then I come here and press the tab key. Okay, let me just give it a class of text. So when you write text, it means that you're referencing to what? To the text. So everything that you see, it means beginning with text, know that you're referencing to what? To the text itself. So under text, you'll find a lot of things. Among those things, you'll underline, you'll bold, you'll make the text be in the center, align those text. So everything that begins with text is about the text. So if I want, say, this text to be red, so it will be text what? Text danger. So this text danger will change all the text to be what? To be red. So see, all my text is what? Is red. If I want them to be yellow, maybe I'm sending a warning to the user, I can say this text to be what? To be yellow. So these colors are very important. Okay, we have warning, we have danger, we have primary. Those are most important. We have another one called dark. This one will help you to create the dark like this. Now let us assume that now these we use through using, and after understanding these colors, we will find that we're using them in many different contexts of Bootstrap. Among the things that you can use them is the what? Is the background. You have seen that you can use them to color the what? The text itself. Let us assume that you want to color the background. So I can give here a div. It will be the same colors, but I can give here a div. Assume that I want to create the dark mode. I'll just give a class and say bg what? Bg dark. So bg dark, of course, by doing that it will have the dark text. So it will intelligently know that Nedent, you want to talk to me. If you have the course, you can come and watch the video again. So see here. For example, I want to implement the dark mode and the light mode. I can just simply do like this. So Bootstrap will automatically know the text that is inside here and to change them to the what? To the opposite color by just simply putting the BG dark. So if I put BG danger, of course it will change it to what? The BG danger. So like this. So this one will make it simple for us. No, this is badge, not BG. We have badge and BG. So BG is for the background. It will not tamper with the what? With your text color. So if I want to do this, for example, I can come here in the body itself, or even also the body, and instead of giving container, and I just give it BG dark. See, then the text, the whole thing will be dark. So if I want to give the text color, I can just simply put text. So you see, text white. So you just find that if you want to change the background, we say BG. If you want to take the text color, we say, should I skip these things?
No.
Then follow. So you see, about the background you say BG, about the text color you say text. So you just use the same colors, same context colors. That's why I say they are very important to understand, because you use the same colors to manipulate the remaining parts of Bootstrap. Okay, so BG, it is about the background, BG may be danger, and then maybe primary, then that's going to be kind of bluish, and then when we talk about text, then we mean the text color, text white, then it will be text color white. So like this. So we'll go up to as far as padding. So we have not reached there, but so we're heading. So you see the padding will be done as simple as that, even without hassling. You've created a padding itself. So that's it. So we proceed. Let us proceed. Okay, let's proceed. So that's the Bootstrap colors. They're simple to understand as long as you practice them. So they're here. You can come and play with them. Background and text colors. So I'm done with that. So I go to the tables. Okay, so these tables, they'll help you to create good looking tables with simple lines of with simple classes of CSS. Let me save here and put it maybe 3 and make this one tables. Okay, so I'll put here tables 3, and then come and delete everything. Okay, then I'll come and upload this file here. Okay, so that's it. Now to create a table, let me show you. I'll just simply say table. Okay, so let us say that we have the ID of a student, and the ID, maybe the name, the country, maybe the gender, maybe phone, and maybe department. Okay, so let me put some dummy here very fast, so I can say this is 1, and this is maybe John Doe, and then this is Uganda, and then this is male, and then this is and then this is maybe Tripoli. Okay, so let me try to duplicate this one. I hope it is okay. So let me come and refresh. Then we get this kind of a table. So when we don't put anything on a table of Bootstrap to look like this, but Bootstrap has a class called table. You add it here in the table class, the table tag itself. So if I put a class called table and see what will happen. Okay, so if by just adding a class called table, the table will be 100%, and it will have these 100% to the container that is containing it, and it will have these bottom lines. So if I come and duplicate it like this, if I come and duplicate these rows like these ones, okay, just for testing, so we'll have something like this one by just putting the class table. So alaikum salam. So we have other more classes. Among the classes that we have for Bootstrap that supports table, we have table what? Table bordered. Okay, say table bordered, it will make your table to be what? To be bordered in this kind. So you can change this borders, even the color. We'll look at that. Okay, so table bordered. So you can give this table to make it hoverable. So you can just give table hover. Okay, hover whatever. So it means that this table, in case that you're having too much data, you may find it confusing to know which column you're pointing at which. So you can put this hover to know which point you're pointing at. Just very simple class. We have another class called table what? Table stripped. By just putting table stripped, you'll have your stripped table like this one. Okay, like be stripped like this. So we have other classes that support the table responsive, tables. Let us look at these classes faster. So we can change the context color of the table. You see, you can make a dark table by just simply putting, for example, table dark in the table, in the head of a table, in the tag head of a table, in the tag of a table, you will get something like this. So we can change this one, table primary, table info, table success, and it will be obeying those colors. So table stripped and dark, it will look like this. Okay, so these things that could take your time, you can simply use this one. We have another class called the table borderless. Remember, the problem that you're having right now by just implementing table, okay, it will have these bottom borders, these ones, by just implementing only table. But what if you don't want any border? Then you can put table table borderless, and then your table will be there without any border. So if you remove this hover thing, if you remove this stripped, our table will be without any border, but well organized, okay, which is still readable. So that is table borderless. What else do we have? We can also give the context colors, like you can see here, table success, table and you make these rainbow colors. We can give this header a color also. So that's it. You can make our table responsive to mobiles. Like when it goes to a mobile size, you will have this bottom thing. Can you see this? Yeah. So to do that, just you see, if I go here to inspect and I go to maybe like Samsung Galaxy, you see our table cannot even. It is trying to squeeze itself. But if you want to make it responsive, you surround it with this class table You surround it in a div, inside a div with a class table responsive. Not put the class on the table itself, but it should be in another container with a class called table responsive. Okay, so if I come and refresh here, you see we are having that feature of moving left to right. Can you see? So we proceed. That is table responsive. So you can come and learn more about tables here in Bootstrap project. Bootstrap main website. They'll tell you more, almost everything about the project. And the good thing about Bootstrap, you don't need to memorize everything. Just when you have an idea, just come and search it here. They'll give you the examples. When you have something that you're interested in, just click on copy, then you'll get the HTML for you. You don't need to suffer. See, all the tables are here. So tables done. We go to images. Images are straightforward. There is not too much classes. There's just this IMG circle and IMG rounded corners. Okay, this rounded corners, you look at it, it is under utilities. You will find it. So here in image, there's no too much business. It's just we can make it responsive, like by giving IMG responsive. Fluid. So Jumbotron is straightforward. We can use it just to create this UI. In case you have something to communicate, maybe a warning, maybe an error, you can use this beautiful UI to create a Jumbotron. If you want to learn more about Jumbotrons, just come here and search Jumbotrons, and then you see you can create a Jumbotron with a button, with a warning, a message, and solution, and the action. So you can use these ones to do what? To create some good UI to communicate to your users. So it's just as simple as this one. Just apply the class of Jumbotron. Straightforward. So you have alerts. Alerts, they are classes that you can use to communicate something to what? Users. You just simply put a div and then give it a class of alert. Then after putting alert, then you give that alert a context, because alert have to communicate whether it is success or warning or danger, something like this. For example, you cannot say if you want to get users' attention, maybe let's say success, your account was created successfully. Okay, so this is a success alert. So if I come and refresh here, you'll see it will just be like a normal text here. To just be like a what? Like a normal text. Your account has created successfully. Now if you want to catch the user's attention, we can make it an alert. How? By just simply putting alert. So by putting alert only, some margin. So by putting alert only, we just have this text, but still look the same. So to make this this alert have some sense, you have to give it the context. So to give the context, just simply say alert, and then we say whether it is success or danger or warning or info. So this one is success. So if you put danger, it will not make sense. Like a user will be scared when they see red, automatically to communicate with the user's brain, hey, what happened? But it will make no sense again to see red and then you see success. Okay, so that's how the brains of human beings work. So if you put here success, alert success, it will show the what? The green. Okay, so that's the context we can pass through alerts. How we go to buttons. So also buttons of Bootstrap, they're straightforward. We can create a primary button, we can create a secondary button, we can create success buttons, just as you can see them here. I think this is straightforward. Okay, so in case you have any idea of a button and you want to get it, you can just simply come and search about buttons and get them here. But these have also something important, interesting here. Buttons, the button groups, they are not so simple. So you can get also, you can group your buttons. You can group your buttons. As I say that you're selling some things which are related, like maybe mobile phones, you can use those buttons to do what? To be there for you. So also, and one more thing, like these buttons, you should not limit them to buttons only. Even links can be created as buttons. For example, I have my link. I can make it a button by putting here class, let me say maybe M5, this is for margin, and then say btn. So by just putting btn, maybe let me make this class maybe subscribe. So by just putting btn, I will just have this. I will have this. Okay, now I have to give it a context by just simply coming and say btn warning, btn danger, btn danger. So it's going to be a red button like this one. So I can resize these buttons. You can also, remember, you can write your own CSS that will overwrite this Bootstrap. So in case you don't want this rounded stuff and you want your own rules but you're using Bootstrap, you can still overwrite them by you just include your styles under the Bootstrap in the Bootstrap file, and then it will override those classes that you've written. So btn danger, I can say btn lg, so it's going to be what? A large button. Can you see? So you can resize them, and maybe btn sm, it will be btn a smaller button, relatively smaller. So these buttons, we can group them like you can see here, but remember this is a what? This is a link. So you can also create buttons using links. So I can group them like this. So how do you group them? You don't need even to memorize them. Just give them a class called btn group, a div, and then give it a role, another attribute called role, group, and then you put there your buttons inside. Once you put them inside this class that is having btn group, they'll be joined together, as you can see here. Okay, so even though they are joined together, but you can still change their context color. For example, I can say here primary, and then maybe say Samsung, and then here I say Nokia, and say here iPhone. This is odd man out. So I can say maybe success, and say maybe danger. Okay, so if I come and refresh, you see our buttons have been grouped and with different context colors, rainbow colors. So if you want to learn more about buttons, just come to Bootstrap Documentation, search buttons. You'll find a lot about what? About buttons. Can you see these smaller buttons? You'll find buttons with what? With the drop downs, but this one will need some jQuery, so you'll have to implement jQuery also. So that's it. Now we proceed. You can also put these spinners in a button by just adding button spinner. So Bootstrap will add it there. Okay, like this kind of. Just put there just a normal button, and then add just one more class called BTN, spinner button. Okay, so I can say maybe okay, so it's a button. If I come and refresh it here, you'll have something like this. Maybe when you're loading something, you can switch these classes to show that something is loading. Okay, so proceed to button groups. I think we'll have 2 sessions. Another day we'll resume. See that one how not finished. We are not even halfway. So proceed to what? To button groups. I've already looked at them. See? We have already looked at this one. You can even make vertical buttons. Okay? Like vertical buttons. In case your design needs some buttons which are standing, you can use these buttons, vertical buttons. The buttons can have the drop down, but this drop down we shall implement it when we are reach the JavaScript part. Okay, so you have badges. So badges, we use them to communicate very important things. Okay, we use them to communicate very important things, like assume that you got Facebook. I'm opening here my Facebook, and I open my my YouTube channel, or just my YouTube. Just YouTube and see. Okay, so when you go to Facebook, there is something that we always ignore, we don't care about. Why? Because we were not developers before, but it's very important, which is this thing. Those ones, we call them what? We call them badges. These ones. That counts. It is very tiny UI, but it is helping to communicate very important message. Most of the time we don't even care about it, but if we mind about it, you will see that all your eyes, for the first time after opening your account, you always set them to those icons to see the number of messages that you have. So Bootstrap created for us those badges. They are here. So in case that I have, maybe I want to communicate here the number of Samsung phone that I have, I can put here maybe a span, and I put maybe 4, and then I give it a class and put badge. So by just putting a badge, you'll have something like this. By just putting badge, you'll have something like this. Okay, now you can now give this badge a context. So I can say badge badge danger. So we'll use this badge to communicate very important very important message. You see, it is now in danger and is communicating. So you can change it to info, to success, to anything that you want. So these badges, they have also different dimensions. You can see something like this one. It is communicating the number of messages that someone might have received. Okay, let me get the example. So refresh here. You see this badge, a badge, text, and then the badge that is communicating. So these badges can be implemented in different ways. So these badges, we have 2 types of badges. We have these normal squared badges, and we have another one called another one in the form of an egg, those oval badges. Okay, we can also implement them using badge peel. It's kind of a peel. So if you put badge peel, it will be in in form of oval. Just put badge peel. Okay, save. Come and refresh, it will be kind of oval corners. Can you see? It is not like the one. So you can also make them rounded. Okay, so if rounded circle, you will come that when you come to utilities, and it will remove those false rounds and make it a perfect a perfect circle, like that of Facebook that we saw. So those are the badges. We use them to communicate important information. You can come and learn more about badges on Bootstrap on Bootstrap website. See, you'll find a lot and they are giving you different examples on how you can do what, you can implement them in your projects. So we go to progress bars. Progress bars, these of course they'll need a what, some little JavaScript to make them active. So you can just be changing this width using JavaScript, and then it will be moving accordingly. Hope this is straightforward, right? Is it?
Yes.
Can
we go to?
I think we'll have another session, but this will not be enough for today. We'll have another one another day, maybe tomorrow. So we have these spinners. You want to go to specific topic? It will not be enough unless Navbars. Okay. You don't want? Yeah, I'm coming. You don't want the whole scope. So I have paginations. I'm coming. I have paginations. We use it for changing the pages. I have navbars. Use them to create these navs. But to create these navs, you must have some JavaScript. Okay, you must have JavaScript, and to have JavaScript, of course. 5, I don't know about 5, man. 5 is not there yet. So 4 is the one that is being officially here. You cannot. Are they talking even about 5 here? All version, go to all versions of Bootstrap. Nothing like 5. So don't predict things that are not even. First use this one up to its best. Is there anything like 5? Use this up to its best, then think about 5. This one has made tremendous things in the world, and you've not implemented it all, you want to jump. Okay, so I don't have idea about 5 because even Bootstrap does not talk about it. Official website of Bootstrap. So let us go to navbars. So we have navs and navbars. So you may not need to memorize all the classes of navbars. All what you need is just to be having and then copy and then paste and modify up to you whatever you want. So, but the most important part, we have 2 types of navbars. We have light navbar and the what? And the dark navbar. So you should listen carefully here. The light navbar, for it will make the text vary in light. Okay, let me explain by doing. So if I want a navbar, I can just simply come here and just then click here, and then I'll modify it. I'm going to modify it up to the way I want. So let me come here and implement. I'll save as for_nav.php.html. Okay, and then I'll remove these everything. Let me remove everything. Okay, so let me put here maybe body, and let me give it a what class. Maybe I want it just not to be in a container. For example, I want it to be in a container, so I have to give it a what, a container. But sometimes navbars don't put them in a container. It's according to your project. So I just come and copy the navbar. Go to Bootstrap website. You don't need to create it from scratch. Just click here and then modify up to your own, up to whatever you want. See? So I paste there, but I'm going to just discuss the very important things in this navbar. So I'll copy and put one step ahead. Let me get this file name and then open this file. So when you open navbar, it will be like this. Okay, that's our nav. So this navbar, first of all, you cannot open this drop down, and secondly, it's not even responsive. Is it? It's not responsive. It is responsive, but you cannot expand the nav itself. Okay, so if you want to do that, you have to import the what? The jQuery, because Bootstrap depends on what? On jQuery, the JavaScript of Bootstrap. So let's import it, and I show you how to import it. And it's going to conflict with your project. So I'll come here and come to Bootstrap, distribution JS. So you'll find that you're having the bootstrap.js here. So I'm going to copy bootstrap.js and come to Bootstrap itself. See carefully here and paste it. So I'm going to copy this, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, escape, and then I'll come here to the footer, maybe in the footer or in the header, whatever you want. But if you want your website to be faster, I recommend you to put Bootstrap in. To put the JavaScript in what? In footer. So I'm going to write script, and then I'll remove this thing of default sync. I'll remove it. I'll come here and put the Bootstrap. Okay, so HM, I hope you're following. So I first import Bootstrap itself, bootstrap.js. So if I refresh, but still one thing is not working, then we need what? jQuery.js. I never liked jQuery. jQuery. Yeah. Right. So
the presentational part.
Okay. So so let me first finish this part. So I'm going, after loading Bootstrap itself, I'll load also jQuery sometimes. So if after loading jQuery, I'll come and refresh here. Now you can see that Bootstrap is doing what? Is working. It will not even manipulate, just expand. It will not change stuff. So I don't know whether the map will have changed by just expanding like this.
Yeah, if you go to that inspect, and then you see that actually the DOM is changing itself. And that is illegal in React. The only way that you do change,
like doing like this.
Yeah, the only way that is through React itself. You cannot use another how can I say?
Can you see?
JavaScript.
So this is illegal. Yeah. What has changed there? Like here.
Which one? Okay, go here. You'll see something is being updated.
Expanding.
Yeah, go to the
to the now.
Yeah, you see, that's a DOM update. You're not allowed to do that. The only thing that React does.
Okay, so to implement this, you need what? You need a jQuery. So you put the jQuery on top, and then so if you don't use Bootstrap jQuery, the jQuery part of Bootstrap, you'll be limited to many things. Among the things, you'll be limited to the bottom parts. To these drop downs. It cannot work without jQuery unless you have another way, like they've said. You cannot you cannot use things like popovers. You see, popovers like these ones. You see, like you cannot toggle these. You cannot use tooltips. You see, tooltips like these ones. You move over and then you explain something. You cannot use these popovers. I think I've already explained. You cannot use these toasts. You cannot use modals. What is modal? You cannot even use what? Modals. Modal. So you have to find a way out. Time is over, but as is saying that we can do what? We can have this class, another class again, because there's one more important thing that is remaining, which is very, very important, the most important thing, which is the what? The grid system. Very, very important, and the time will not allow. So maybe we'll have another class while refresh. Very, very important. Very important. Should I?
That's okay. What is that?
Maybe next class I'll explain while you're fresh. Yeah. Very, very important, this grid system. If you understand them, then you're good to go. In fact, it is the one that made Bootstrap popular. If it never had this grid system, it wouldn't have become popular the way it is. Okay. So
a summary of your class.
It don't summarize everything really. So Corosos and Bootstrap is having libraries, is having templates. So you have it's a big thing. it's a big thing if you want to learn more about it. You see, Bootstrap has things like these ones. Light boxes. Can you make your own like this one from scratch? Light boxes for previewing images. Let me show you some important libraries. Bootstrap. Yeah, these ones. Notifications, like if you want to zoom, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting what I'm looking for. I'm not getting it. This kind of zooming images. There's another one that I want to show you, but I can't get it. Let's say light box Bootstrap. This is empty Bootstrap file, and it is jQuery, not Bootstrap. See this one. You see, it can take you time to create something like this from scratch when it is necessary, and you need it in a project, zooming images and the rest. So I don't know how you're going to do it in React, but you should find a way. And these fancy boxes assume that you're making a project that you need to create that you need to preview images. Yeah, maybe it's an e-commerce shop and a user will need to preview images like these ones. So you need we have pop-ups. There are so many libraries for jQuery, so I don't know whether you also have the same for your website, your technology. So from next class, inshallah, we'll start from there and cover utilities. These utilities are also important, like sizing. You see, sizing, bordering, padding, width, responsiveness. These ones we'll cover them in the next class, inshallah. Okay, so for let's start from there.